So I just want to welcome you to the Life Change Tribe team call for Tuesday, October 11th. Tonight we're going to be covering how to leverage your story. And so I'll be covering a few different things with that. I want to talk a little bit about how Beachbody is different and just what that looks like, why it is important to use your story as you are interacting with others and as you are inviting people to join you. What exactly is your story if you don't know or don't feel like you have the details on all of that yet? We'll talk a little bit about that. And then finally, how to really present it. So I'll give you a few tips on that, a few ways to look at and really develop your story so that you can communicate that effectively. So that's basically what we're going to be covering in the call, so I'm just going to move through it. Like I said, I want to value your time. I know that you are busy, but I felt like this was a really important call, really important information that I wanted to share with you, because it's another piece of the inviting process, and it's another place that we as coaches can get stuck. And so I wanted just to provide you with all the information that I could and to really help you start developing your story and start reaching out to people effectively so that you can really grow your business. So, like I said, that first piece that I wanted to talk about is how Beachbody is different. And, when I first got started with Beachbody, even before I became a coach, I was really skeptical. And I know the potential challengers that we talk to are the same way. But the more that I've gotten involved with Beachbody, the more that I recognize how different this company really is. So that's what I want to point out to you. So Beachbody is really focused on helping people rather than just selling the product. That's one reason that it's so important that you develop your story and that you learn how to communicate it effectively. Because if you aren't using your story, then you're going to end up being like any other person in an MLM. You're going to be more tempted to just rely on the product and to be more salesy, which is not what we want to do. But if you rely on how Beachbody is different and how we connect with people and how we share our story, then it's all going to come more naturally, and it's going to be more comfortable, and you're going to have more people trust you and want to join you. And that other piece is that we're all about making that human connection and being real with people. And so that's just another way that having your story and being able to share that effectively is going to help you grow your business. You're going to be able to make those human connections where you're not just trying to shove a product at someone, but that you're really coming alongside them and providing them with the tools and resources that they need to be successful and to make the change that they want to. And honestly, that's going to help them recognize that they really can do this too. And that's what it's all about. It's about us being coaches, supporting people, and giving them the confidence that they need to be successful at the change that they want to see. So those are the two main reasons that I feel like Beachbody is different and how we go about sales is different. And so let's take a look at really why this storytelling piece is important. To me, there are three main reasons that it's important to be an effective storyteller and to be able to leverage your story effectively. The first is to create that human connection. Like I talked about already, we're all about relating to people and helping them feel comfortable and feel like that they can do this too. So when you share your story with them, you are showing them that you're a real person and that you, as a real person, were able to do this. Without that, again, you would be going back to just being salesy, just trying to promote a product, or just sending them scripted information. It just wouldn't be natural and comfortable. There would be no connection there, and that is not the way that we want to develop our businesses. We want to be all about relating on an authentic level. So that second piece goes hand in hand with the first. It's all about building a relationship. And, storytelling helps us do that because it's like talking to your close friend. You wouldn't just try to sell to a friend. You're going to let them know and tell them how it really has worked for you. So by developing your story and by sharing that authentically, just the way that you would with a friend, you're going to build a relationship with that person. And there again, it's going to show your potential challengers and your current challengers that you are there to support them, that you are a real person who has done this, and they're going to feel so much more empowered to be able to do it themselves. And so that final piece, again, relies back on those first two steps of why storytelling is important. It's all about growing your trust. When you share your story effectively, people are going to start learning what you're about, who you are, and what you have personally experienced. They're going to learn some of the challenges that you faced and where you have fallen short and how you've come up with solutions that works for you. And so that trust piece is key to really getting people to jump on board with you. So, in a nutshell, that is why learning to tell your story is so important. You want to create that human connection, you want to build relationships with people, and you want them to trust you. So, what exactly is your story? Especially if you're just getting started as a coach, you may feel like, well, I don't really have a story yet. I don't have a huge transformation. I don't have, these progress pictures that are really going to astound people. Don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck there at all, because any amount of change that you've experienced is part of your story. So when we look at it, our story is all about transformation. How we've changed by getting started with Beachbody and the Beachbody programs, products, and community. So that transformation can be physical. Obviously, that is one that people are going to start looking for as you start growing as a coach. But if you don't have that big transformation yet, share the little pieces. Share the non-scale victories. If you don't have a huge weight loss yet, share about how you tried on a pair of pants today and they fit comfortably, and 2 weeks ago you could hardly button them. Share how you are looking in the mirror and you are starting to see more definition, or whatever it is that you are noticing, that's part of your story and that's part of your transformation. And you recognizing those small successes and those small changes are what's going to start attracting people and making them say, that would be nice. I would like to be more comfortable in my clothes. I would like to have a little more confidence. I'd like to feel a little bit better when I'm looking in the mirror. So it can be physical. Another transformation and another piece of your story that I love is your mental and emotional change. So there again, with that, there isn't really anything that you can recognize on the outside, but you can change, or you can share how you've been changing mentally and emotionally, how investing in your health is changing your confidence, how taking the time to do personal development every day is helping you grow as a person. Think about where you were before you started Beachbody and where you are now, and share that transformation and that change. For me, the confidence piece was huge. And that's something that I try to highlight, because for us as women especially, transformation, obviously the physical transformation makes us feel more confident and makes us, we recognize that. But honestly, deep down, it's that that emotional transformation that is so much more powerful for us as women. So by sharing that as part of your story, you're going to be able to reach that many more people. And then the final thing, transformation that you can talk about is financial. So you're a coach now. Obviously, there is some financial benefit to that. And again, with that, if you haven't experienced a huge transformation in your finances since becoming a coach, share where you are currently. Maybe you sold one challenge pack this month. That's $30 or $40. So what did you use that $30 or $40 to purchase? That's an amount of money that you wouldn't have had you not been a coach. So share those little pieces. And then also part of your story is your goal, where you're headed. You can look at the leaders in this company and point out where it is that you want to get with this company. Don't feel like just because you're not making big bucks yet. And again, Beachbody doesn't guarantee any level of income. It's all based on your personal talents and your work effort. But that if you put in the work and you are committed to this, you are going to get there eventually. And by sharing that potential with people, you're going to start attracting them with your story, and they're going to want to follow your story to see, this girl means business, and I want to see, is that really possible to get there? So those are some of the pieces of your story that you can share. Now, how exactly do we present that effectively? How do you really leverage those pieces of your story and share them effectively so that people want to start following you, start building that relationship with you, and start trusting you so that they jump in with you? Well, there are essentially 3 steps to crafting your story. The first is to take a few minutes and really define those transitional moments from your story. So think about maybe your fitness journey goes all the way back to your childhood, like it does for me. My childhood, I was always heavy as a child. And then in middle school, I started seeing the other girls. I started dancing. And so at that point, I started to make changes. I started eating less, exercising more, and I immediately saw some results. But I got so attracted to those results that it ended up, I nearly had an eating disorder. I had disordered eating because I was so attracted to losing weight and achieving that level of perfection that I saw in my mind. So my story goes all the way back, to my childhood, years and years. And then, it came full circle when I got pregnant with my daughter, and some of those same thoughts resurfaced. And so I eventually got connected with the 21 Day Fix, and that helped me learn healthier habits. So each of those moments are pieces of my story. They're transitional moments for me. So take the time to jot down those little snippets of your story, those moments that really define your journey. And then once you have those moments pinpointed, then start connecting the dots. How do they each tie to one another? And, as I was sharing some of my moments there, I was automatically connecting the dots for you. I was heavy as a child, so that led to me developing an eating disorder when I was a little older. I semi-recovered from that, but never had a really healthy relationship with food or my body. And so then as an adult, I kind of fell back into those same thinking patterns and habits. And then when I finally got into the 21 Day Fix and got started and really defining the nutrition, that's when it all changed for me. So that's how I can, put together the pieces of my story and start connecting them and relating them effectively. And then, the third piece is to just start sharing that whole story and or pieces of it. Obviously at some point it's really effective for you to put it all together, to really encapsulate it for people so that then you can present that to them and show them, okay, this is where I was and this is how far I've come. But you don't have to do that every single day. In each of your posts each day, you should be piecing along that information. So, one of my focuses that I like to share about on my page is, self-love is taking care of your health and mentally, emotionally, and physically. So, I can tie in little pieces of my story and how I used to not love myself and how I've transitioned to that. And so that doesn't tell my whole story, but it tells little snippets so that people get a better feel for who I am and what I'm about. So that's more about crafting your story, and just some tips on, again, leveraging your story to really effectively relate to people. So you want to, again, like I already shared, include pieces of your story everywhere. So in each of your posts, create little snapshots into the different elements of your story. You want to also incorporate your change both as a challenger and as a coach. So talk about how participating in a challenge group helped you make that physical change, but then also talk about how you've changed as a coach. Because, ultimately, our goal is to invest in people and to help them create the change and to get people in our challenge groups. But we also want to cultivate coaches for our team too. So by sharing both sides of the story, how you had an experience as a challenger and how you now have an experience as a coach too, you are reaching both sides of your audience. Those who are just looking for the health transformation and those who are looking potentially for the business opportunity and the income opportunity too. And then the final tip I have is to really focus on presenting the problem and how you felt, as well as the solution and how you feel now. So what I mean by that is, what made you jump on board? What made you decide it was finally time to invest in a challenge pack, to get started with a program, to get started with Shakeology, and to jump into a challenge group? What problem was there in your life? So again, for me, it was, I had just had my daughter, I had gained weight with my pregnancy, and I knew that if I just relied on myself to make those health changes, that I probably would end up way under eating. And being unhealthy about losing weight, I probably would not have been able to breastfeed my daughter, which was one of my goals, because you need nourishment and nutrition to be able to nourish another person. So those pieces were part of the problem for me. And I was a new mom. My body was much different than what it had been before pregnancy. And I just felt like I didn't fit in my own body. So, those were the big pieces of the problem. And the solution was, one, investing in the challenge pack, where I got the tools and resources I needed that helped me learn more about nutrition, that gave me the workouts that I could fit into my day as a new mom with a newborn who didn't take very good naps and who nursed all the time. So it was doable even in that respect. But also getting plugged into the community. Had I, again, tried to do it on my own, I would have gotten discouraged. I probably wouldn't have had as much information about starting the 21-day fix as a breastfeeding mom, would have had a lot more questions with that. So it just full circle. share how the whole package is the solution. It's not just one thing, it's the whole package. And so by including those pieces of your story, people will start seeing how it can fit into their lives too, and how, you know, they recognize that they have a problem, and how Beachbody and the programs that we have to offer and the groups that we run are a solution that will work for them. So those are essentially my tips for crafting your story and for just using your story to connect with others. So the last thing that I have for you is a challenge. I want to challenge you within the next couple of days, by the end of the week, to share a post with your story. And it can either be with a picture or a video, but highly encourage, if not now, then at some point, to do a video that really encapsulates your whole story. But my challenge is to you to share a post with your story. And again, if you are new to Beachbody and you are just getting started in your journey, share those little successes and where you were before and how far you've come. And then also, you know, you can talk about where it is that you're headed so that people really see, you know, how it comes full circle. So that is all that I have for you. I hope that it was helpful in helping you see how to tell your story and how using your story can help you connect with challengers and just invite people to this opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video.